there's this new sort of like pigeons rights movement where people are like, we domesticated pigeons in the 1600s. It's not their fault that like through ancestral memory, they're like, they relate to us because we domesticated them and then we used to eat them. And so now they associate humans with like comfort and home and food. And we should be understanding of that. Don't care. There's too many. We need a cull.
I am gagged. I'm gagged.
Have you not heard people defending pigeons?
I have heard people defending pigeons, and yes, I do think that maybe some of that is performative.
I understand we domesticated them originally. That doesn't change the fact that sometimes you're cycling down the road and there's like an army of pigeons in the middle of the road,
and they're in the way,
they scatter, and then you're
they
like
shit on you.
Yeah, and you're like then you sort of like at risk of cycling into a van.
But you just gotta go, pigeon move. But like, I'm gagged that you hate pigeons so much.
You're cycling down the road going, pigeon move.
I do. I talk to them.
Okay, I've got some dignity left.
I'm gagged that you hate pigeons so much. I get it. People are being a bit performative with their pigeon love at the minute, but I understand it. It comes from truth.
Okay, but like, I don't know.
Do you know pigeons?
Kim, there's people that are
pigeons
dying.
and doves are the same animal?
Yeah, I do, and I don't care for doves either.
So you're racist. Oh, you don't care for doves?
I don't care for doves.
You don't love doves?
No,
like
I'm not doing colorism on the birds.
And you hate the large, aggressive pigeons who live in the cities.
Yeah, well, I'm
dark pigeons.
No, don't try and change this into something it's not.
Okay.
I find all of that species of bird annoying and cumbersome and in my way.
Have you ever seen those videos of them building nests?
I haven't, and I don't care to.
It's very sad.
Sad in what way?
Well, they just collect twigs and put them in a random pile and then plop their eggs on it.
Yeah, because they're thickos.
But then again, that is why they can't build nests, because they were domesticated for hundreds of years.
Okay, but like, can they not just like? Do we need so many?
I do think that the sympathy towards pigeons is a little bit much, because we're acting like they're like homeless people when actually they're animals.
There are actual homeless people around.
Well, they're animals.
Yeah, they're animals.
And they like being outside.
And they're everywhere, and they're shitting on you, and they're shitting on the pavement, and like, if you've not got a very good council, which I don't, they're not clearing it up, and then there's just bird shit all over the road, and sometimes it's huge, it's dog-like in its scope.
Okay, well, you're watching Enough About Me.
Enough about me, enough about pigeons. Get rid. I'm a bird lover, by the way. I love birds. Okay. I was a junior member of the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds.
I'm here.
I had no mates.
I'm here with comedian Dominic McGovern. How are you doing, Dominic?
I will full name. I'm good.
Your full name? Dom.
I'm Dom.
Oh my God, you Dom. Should I do that again?
Yeah.
Should I redo it?
Yeah.
I'm here with comedian Dom McGovern.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
You
got me riled up now, and I feel I think that's good.
Yeah, have you brought yourself down from that?
No, and then I'll never come down
from that rant.
Maybe I'm a pigeon in that sense.
Maybe you're a spiritual pigeon. Do you have a spirit animal? Spiritual animal? Do you have one?
One that I relate to. What, like, if I was going to be...
If you were an animal.
What animal do I think I'd be?
Yeah.
Probably, to be honest, probably like a dog. Or maybe like a lazy domesticated horse, a cow or a pig. Something farmyard, for sure.
Something farmyard?
Yeah.
Oh, so you would be like a border collie, not a chihuahua?
No, not a little chihuahua, no. Again, a chihuahua, I think that's silly.
You hate chihuahuas? Okay, what's your opinions on chihuahuas then?
I just think if you've got a dog, I shouldn't be able to boot it. Like, if I can walk past a dog and I could like kick it really far,
if you can beat up a dog,
no. As in, like, if I could like boot it, like if you're walking past the canal and there's a little chihuahua, sometimes I walk past a chihuahua, I think I could kick that all the way across the canal, and I don't think that should classify as a dog. Really, that's big rat.
Okay, so what dogs? A sausage dog?
Silly.
Let's go up. I guess what are those like?
I think corgi and up I can fuck with. Anything that's smaller than a corgi. Even like a bichon frise, I think that's foolish.
I can't even remember what a bichon frise is.
Posh little curly haired little.
I'm not a big dog. I like dogs, but I'm not a big dog person. But when I was in what country was it? Bulgaria.
Okay.
Sofia. There you are.
Yeah.
I think it was Sofia. Where was I? Is that the capital of Bulgaria? I did go there, I promise. There was a corgi cafe, and I went to it. But the problem is corgis are notoriously unfriendly dogs and they don't like to be near people or touch.
Okay.
But so they just kind of like walked around and just avoided us.
But they are so sweet looking, I think.
They are gorgeous looking.
I think they're so sweet and cute. Like,
they are gorgeous looking.
So I've got hair on my...
No, this is great.
Yeah, this is good content. You should clip this.
We will.
It's going to annoy me the whole episode.
Did you ever watch Drag Race?
Yeah.
Do you remember how they do people in the edits, right? And when Thorgy 4, her whole like thing was that she had ADHD and she couldn't focus and stuff like that. Yeah. And then in one of the things she started talking to camera in one of the VTs and then was like, "Oh, I've got a hair," and they like used that clip to like show that she was
ADHD.
Yeah, and not focused and like distracted and chaotic.
Oh, I see.
So that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna get the the sound.
I would love to get diagnosed with ADHD. That would explain some stuff.
Have you not been?
No. Sorry, I know that people suffer, but like...
I do think most of us have it.
I think we've all got type 2 ADHD.
What's type 1?
Type 1 is where like...
Well, I've got a doctor's diagnosis, babe. Don't talk
but like type 1, it's like type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Like one is like you're sort of born with it, and one with it, like you put so much phone into your eyeballs and then you get ADHD.
Then, I was saying this to someone the other day. I was like, it's a chicken egg situation where do I have ADHD because I have a 7-hour average screen time? Or
that's low. Talk to me when you hit double figures, baby.
And I'm just there at night, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Or do I have ADHD so I am on my phone all the time? You know?
We will literally never know.
We'll never know. Well, I'll know because I was diagnosed.
Right.
But it is kind of boring to talk about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think if I did get a diagnosis, I'd just be like, I'd take the speed and run.
So why are you a comedian then? What brought you there?
Whoa!
Why did you do that? How did you end up this way?
How do I end up this way? This is the thing, like when people talk about that ADHD as well, it's like, well, I was a formerly gifted child and I was in the gifted and talented program in primary school, but then I was sort of left lacking as an adult. And I thought, it must be attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It's kind of that.
Is this your way of telling us that you were in the gifted and talented?
Duh.
Okay. And so that's when the comedy started, was it?
No.
You were bullied and so therefore you had to...
I had, if we're talking about like psychological reasons into becoming a comedian, I've got vintage, I've got the classic case. Ugly as a child, needed to develop a personality early. That's many such cases.
And this is why I don't have a personality.
You've always been good
I've
looking.
always been beautiful.
Yeah, well, hey, good for you.
Yeah, I've actually tried that joke so many times, and that is the first time I've got even the littlest bit of a giggle. So thank you for that.
You're so welcome. I think it's if you've been good looking your whole life, you haven't had to develop a personality. But if you were a big old munter, then you did.
When did you first become a comedian?
When did you first realise you were ugly?
How does that happen?
How does that happen?
I wonder, because if looks maxing happened when I was a teenager, I think I would have really fallen for it.
Absolutely. I wish there had been like a YouTube video about how that. Yeah, I wish clavicular had been around when I was 7.
I actually once did that. This is insane. Because look, I spoke about the fact that I'm now sober. There was a time when I wasn't sober and there were reasons. And I would basically, I don't even know if I want to talk about this, but I've already started. I'm blaming ADHD. I had missed something and I disappeared because I was on a bender and I had to go back to work. And I basically, on my way, was like coming down and was like punching myself in the face so that I could then turn up and be like, oh, I've been mugged. That's why I missed these days. And that's kind of insane as smashing your face to make yourself better.
Tiny little hammers.
Probably worse. What did you do before being a comedian?
Lots of things. I've had loads of jobs. I left university. I had like some dead end job for a year. I worked in like a theatre production company office. I can see that for you. On one of the shows that we were talking about earlier, actually off cam. The one that you're thinking of, the Twink show. And
look, this is my ADHD. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, who were we talking about earlier?
Oh, okay.
This is actually so boring.
Okay.
Then I moved to Australia for a bit because I sort of felt like my life was going nowhere. And then I worked in like various festivals over there. And then I came back and I was like a freelance writer for a bit. And then when I started doing stand-up, I couldn't do freelance journalism.
Oh, so you were a journalist? Journalist, like one of those journalists who...
In that I like wrote...
BuzzFeed journalists.
No, worse. Vice.
Vice.
But in like the dying days of Vice.
Okay.
Like I feel like if you were writing for Vice in like 2017, 18, like you were in the sort of heyday where it was like properly... It's like there was like a sort of kind of a hegemony in that it was the kind of the go-to place for cultural criticism in like a interesting way. I was writing for Vice in like 2020 and 2021 when it was like the dregs, when we were like, you know, I was writing articles like occasionally something serious, but mostly like ranking Boris Johnson's lockdown parties from least to most fun kind of thing. And then when I started doing stand-up properly, I was like, I can't be chasing multiple invoices. So I became the press officer for various charities. I just became a press officer. Boring. My worst job is that I worked as a charity mugger. I was like in a shopping centre being like, do you have time to talk about homeless children?
Oh, one of those. Oh, I've done that. I've done that.
Actually one of the worst jobs that you can possibly do.
Yeah, charity fundraising is horrible.
It's humiliating.
I didn't do it for long. Oh my God. One time, just any kind of street stuff is awful.
Yeah, and also it's almost always a pyramid scheme.
Oh, really? Those charity fundraising things. Have you ever had one of those...
The one that I was working for, I was like, this is not morally correct.
Have you ever had one of those like kids come up to you and be like, will you donate to my boxing ring? And they like, give me 50p and they've got like a sheet. No. Do I need to cut that?
I don't
You're
know.
like, the way you just looked at me, you're like...
Just the accent you didn't let... I've never been to Jamaica, so no, there's no... So no one's come up to me in that specific accent and said it, no. But like occasionally... Occasionally outside Mile End Station, yeah, maybe.
That you've had people trying to donate to your boxing ring?
Not to their boxing ring, but like...
Club.
Yeah, maybe. Some sort of...
So I had to do... This is quite a dark story, but... So please respect...
It's your ADHD.
One time, a friend of mine died, but he went missing for like 2 weeks before he was found, right? And so all of our friends like went on the street to hand out missing persons posters because this is what we decided to do. And it was one of the most horrible experiences where you're trying to be like, hi, we're looking for our friend. We were like young, right? We're like, hi, we're looking for our friend, and people being like, no change, sorry. It was like really devastating.
I've actually also had to do that.
Have you? Yeah. Have you? It's not nice.
No.
Yeah, sorry, did I just kill the vibe?
Well, yes and no, but like, the vibe's not killed for me, but just in terms of the disembodied listener, do they want to hear us talking about our respective dead friends? So hard to say.
I mean, it was a...
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago for me as well. Anyway, so when did you first like put a mic in front of your face and start telling jokes?
Put a mic in front of my face. Well, putting a mic in front of my face and starting telling jokes, maybe two disparate things. But when I decided to, I did like the National Youth Theatre when I was like 18 or maybe older than that. Maybe I was like 19, and because I was like, I'm going to be an actor. And I had a friend, like one of my closest friends on that little like month-long course, was like, you're really funny. You should just try being a stand-up. And I was like, yeah, I will. And then like fully 4 years later was when I did a course at Soho Theatre. Soho Theatre do like three courses per year where it's like a complete beginner's introduction to stand-up kind of thing. Where
I do think it is natural. I do think it's just something that like you just have. You either have it or you don't have it.
I think so. But like some people, they might not seem particularly funny in person, but are incredible writers, or like they have something about them that makes them fantastic to watch on stage. Yeah. It's not always like, you don't have to be able to like rizz up the hose in conversation, as it were.
Rizz up the hose. Can you translate that?
You do, like it's like sometimes someone who's like incredibly charismatic in conversation would not make an amazing stand-up comedian because they lack the writing skills or whatever, but like that does you know, I don't think it's as clear cut as you meet someone and you're like, you'd be an amazing comedian. They always would be. Sometimes, but like oftentimes someone is charismatic enough to hold a group of people for a particular length of time.
Yeah, I guess it also is about like, well, look at me, I know what comedy is. I actually don't know what comedy is. But like being able to make something seem funny, not just being like a clown, I guess. Like a lot of these Texas comedians, wherever the fuck they're from, Austin comedians, I do not get at all. You seen this, you know, the one that's like famous for being really good looking?
Yeah, well,
I don't get it.
Well, therein lies you've a question asked and answered there. Sometimes you can just be famous for being really good looking.
And then, but you want to be a comedian.
Speaking of chin surgery, he's had chin surgery.
Well, yeah, there was a whole thing
Pre-pod record, we were talking about
comedians who've had, not necessarily comedians.
People in the public eye who've had chin filler or jaw implants, and many such cases. Once you start, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but once you start noticing, you're going to see it everywhere.
It's a big week for conspiracy theorists. Have you heard the news?
What news?
The bullets that were in Charlie Kirk do not match the gun that was found at the scene of the guy who they arrested.
It is crazy how we don't know the name of the guy. Well, I guess we could look it up. Do we know?
Well, I mean, it is. I put it down to the fact that I'm a homosexual and I know Luigi Mangioni's name for.
I don't think that's gay. I don't think that's gay necessarily. I think everyone knows the name Luigi Mangioni. That's a name that has been in the public sphere for 18 months now. What the Charlie Kirk shooter?
What was it? What was it
so
called?
much.
But then, yeah, but it's all unraveling, and you know the right wing comedian people are loving it.
Like the Joe Rogans of the world?
No, the Candice Owens of the world.
Okay.
And the Tucker Carlson.
Yeah. Sorry, you said comedian, so I was like...
Did I say comedians?
The commentators.
Yeah, those people. But yeah, so it's a big week for conspiracy theorists. And...
I feel like it's been a big half a decade.
It's been a big 10 years. It's been a big 10 years for conspiracy theorists.
It's been since, I'd say, conspiracy theories ramped up in, January 2020? And it's been non-stop ever since. Yeah. The train left the station and has been
since
breaks.
COVID.
Since the 2020 election has been, I guess since COVID, that was first year.
Yeah, but yeah. So therefore he might get off. Luigi might get off.
Fingers crossed.
Maduro might get off. Who else is on trial?
Scott Mills.
Scott Mills.
I don't know when this is being released, but we're 2 days post Scott Mills allegations. So
the news still coming in, but his statement was quite.
I have not. His statement was this morning. You said.
Yeah, I read his statement this morning, or it was reported on the news this morning, and like it was very. Let's just say it didn't give. I'm protesting my innocence. It's giving. Hey,
yeah,
there wasn't enough evidence to charge me.
There's a big difference between like I'm innocent and I've cooperated with the police.
Exactly, I'm doing as I told.
I don't know, but like those two there, and that's clearly very specifically legally worded.
Well, yeah, it was very written by lawyers, but you know these things are intense, you know. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he's on trial. Who else is on trial? I don't know who's not on trial. You know who's not on trial?
Who's not on trial?
Kneecap. Didn't they get off?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, but that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Are
you saying that they're equal levels of innocent?
They're just as bad as... No, I'm joking.
Get that on camera. We're giving mixed messages today. The only thing that we've been clear cut on is pigeons.
No, you were clear cut on pigeons.
Yeah, that's true.
I am unsure. I like pigeons. But yeah, I'm also a contrarian. So there's too many people like advocating for pigeons at the minute. Mm-hmm. Which kind of is that really where it's coming from? Contrarianism?
Maybe. I just don't think it should be that controversial. I don't think that you should say, I don't like pigeons. There's too many of them. I wish they weren't shitting on my doorstep. I wish that I could like sit outside a pub without a pigeon like shitting down the side of the wall in the beer garden. Without someone piping up and being like, well, actually, in the 1500s, actually in Tudor times, they were one of the main pieces of meat that people were eating. So we domesticated them for our own entertainment, enjoyment. And we were racing pigeons and eating pigeons. So really, it's our fault. No, it's not. We're talking about the Tudor times. They were doing loads of stuff like, is the dissolution of the monasteries also my fault? No. I don't like something that is happening now. Don't be like, it's our fault. No, it's not. Stupid.
I feel like we're going to have the RSPCA on us because you're talking about kicking dogs. You're
I know. I'm not talking about harming the animals. I'm just saying I don't think.
Do you agree with the XL bully cull that's happening? Is it still happening?
I don't. They have to be muzzled or something. Loads were put down. I think. I have no opinions. I've got no strong opinions on that. I'll go with the wind on that. I think it's like I've got
whatever.
I think I might be thick, maybe, but like I've got. I think, in the information age, in like the era of the sort of like social media, everything, I don't know whether I have the requisite critical thinking skills to enter that debate. Because if someone said, no, we shouldn't put XL bullies down because of XYZ, I'd be like, yeah, maybe not. And then if someone was like, we should put them all down because they keep biting children, I'd be like, yeah, that's actually so true. I don't think we should have. I think it's actually wrong for me to like espouse some kind of strong opinion.
The problem is in this day and age,
a lack of education.
You have to, and actually, your lack of education means that your opinion will be given more weight,
more credence. Yeah,
because I'm not one of these experts.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that enough?
The British public are tired of experts.
Yeah. Although reform,
kill all XL bullies. Then in that case, I will shoot them myself.
Reform is going down though. They're going down in the polls.
Are they?
Yeah. They've dropped like 9 points in the last month or so.
Is that because we're getting closer to a local election and there's more information on the ground?
Yeah, maybe. But they are, I think, losing the by-election didn't help them. Didn't help their momentum.
The Gorton and Denton.
Yeah.
Yeah, by such a big margin, because like even it was like 4,000 votes, and it was projected to be maximum 1,000 votes.
So they're still at 20. They're still second.
Yeah.
Or first or whatever. But they're not like, oh my God, it's going to be a blowout anymore. And they've got this Restore Britain.
Yeah, who are
coming on.
Which is like, regardless of the right-wing demagoguery, if I was setting up a new political party that's like directly in opposition to the new opposition right-wing party, I wouldn't go from Reform to Restore. I'd pick something as a name that is sort of more etymologically different.
But what is their aim, though? Their aim is to just be like, no, we're Reform, but we're more Reform than Reform. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's their aim,
to cancel out the re and just be Form.
Form.
Yeah.
Form Britain.
That sounds like a Pilates studio.
Form Britain.
Form Britain. For only $99.99 a month, you can get one Pilates class.
Yeah, so they're flopping it. I also think that, have you seen that 19-year-old that's running Warwickshire Council?
No, but is this Reform as well?
Yeah.
So many cases of this where like they've obviously get some fucking idiot, angry little 19-year-old with like a Peaky Blinders haircut to be in charge of like a council's budget. Like obviously they're going to fuck it up. What were you doing when you were 19?
Oh, drugs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's probably why I'm sat here interviewing you.
And not in charge of Warwickshire Council.
That whenever I'm interviewing somebody, I always think of that Whitney Houston quote where she's doing that interview and she's like, I always listen to my mother. My mother has she's a very wise woman and I always listen to her. And then the interviewer goes, oh, I never listen to my mother. And Whitney goes, and that's probably why you're asking the questions and I'm sat here.
I hate to say it, but gag.
I know, gag. And it's also kind of true. So every time I'm interviewing someone with like a career, I'm like, oh, maybe I should listen to my mother.
Yeah, I mean...
She'll love that because she does actually watch every episode.
That's really nice.
Hi, Mum.
Hi.
I know. So how's comedy going?
It's going okay. It's going all right.
It's going okay. I think it's going well from where I'm sat.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where like you're never not going to be neurotic about your own.
Yeah. And you're always chasing after something, right?
Yeah, exactly. And when you get one thing, it's like it's on to the next thing,
Did you audition for SNL?
I did.
Yeah.
I taped for it and I submitted scripts for it. I think my tape was probably my audition was probably quite bad, but I really liked what I submitted script wise. But I think they were inundated, and I think what they're doing is pretty good.
Wait, so what they asked for you? They asked for you because you
So
need
you
to
could
be a
either
writer as
you could
well.
either submit for the writing team or submit to be a cast member, and I submitted for both. But lots of people I know submitted for both and either got cast or didn't, or got the writers team. And some people I know just submitted to be a writer and are on the writing team. And they've got a really great writing team.
How have you found the first couple of episodes?
I think good.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're really good. I also think it's like, I said this before, but it's net good for the creative industries in the United Kingdom to have something where like finally people are putting money behind new creative talent, endeavors, ideas on a large scale, and then like trying very hard to make sure that people are actually watching it as well.
Yeah.
Because there's been like, I think there was sort of like golden, especially in like TV comedy, there was like a sort of golden age of, well, maybe this is me over romanticizing it because it's the only sort of like golden age of TV that like I was alive for. But like, it felt like between the years of sort of like 2007 and 2010, 11, everyone was watching everything that was on TV on a Friday and Saturday night.
What years did you just say?
2007, 2011. Like sort of like, it was like Live at the Apollo, Mock the Week.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
8 out of 10 Cats.
But I feel like we're still in that. Like,
No.
as it not.
There's no panel shows. There's
but
no
I
money
mean,
into anything.
The comedians that came out of that era are still the comedians that are the dominant comedians.
And this is the first time maybe in 15 years that there has been a project that is funded where the people in front of and behind the camera are not the same people who came up via Live at the Apollo and Mock the Week in sort of 2011.
Yeah. It was really refreshing to not see those same filler-filled faces on TV, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I do feel like comedy has been dominated by like the 2000s people for so long. And if it's successful and it keeps growing and then people get careers out of it, they create their own ecosystems around
You'd hope,
stuff.
yeah.
That is the
you would
hope.
hope.
You know?
That's best case scenario.
Yeah, and then yeah, good for British comedy.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Fingers crossed, you know. Like I don't work that much in like screen stuff, but like I'm a live comedian mostly. And that's how I make my living. But like screen is where there is more money, and like I want to be doing more of that. Like I've got ideas, so hopefully this leads to a greater amount of funding across the board. Although there is this sort of risk that maybe this become like SNL UK becomes the one thing that has money being pumped into it, and then that's the only route through to success. Like in the same way that like I think there's maybe this is a clumsy parallel to be drawing, but like think about the success of the Barbie movie and how like maybe the lesson that should be being learned from that is like more stories that are like where it's clearly marketed for like women and like people wanting to see themselves reflected on screen, but like the lesson that has been learned is like, let's make more films about toys. You know, so you don't want it to be a thing where like this is the only thing that gets funding and the only thing, because it's all American money, obviously.
Yeah, well, I think that in and of itself is quite good because it kind of breaks through this kind of isolated British comedy scene.
No money in British comedy whatsoever.
And it does seem like the Americans are liking it.
Yeah.
Almost more than the British audiences.
But that's because British people are sort of, I was so sort of unsurprised, but like incredibly disheartened to see the cynicism of SNL UK being like, it's going to be obviously rubbish. It's like, they've like, if you knew, like, we don't know anyone who's on it. Yeah, you don't know who anyone who's on it because like there's been no route for people to be introduced to you other than the Edinburgh Fringe for 15 years. Obviously, you're not going to know anyone on it if it's not like Michael McIntyre and whoever, you know, like it's obviously you're not going to know anyone who's on it, but like anyone who's involved in that world will know they've got like a 25 strong team of some like incredible writers who are like Edinburgh Comedy Award nominated, who've like been working in it for years. Like the Weekend Up head writer, he's been writing on like Have I Got News for You for years and whatever. And the cast are all like pretty universally acclaimed in their fields. Like
they're all really good.
Yeah.
And it's like great to see people who I've seen on like social media or seen in other things for years who are now have this like massive audience.
Yeah.
And are like being received well.
Exactly. And it's like if you could set if the British public could set aside their own cynicism and their own wish for something to fail for 1 second, then there would be more things. There would be more. You'd be willing to receive things better. Therefore, things would be better for you.
I mean, you don't win elections like that.
Yeah.
By blaming the public.
No, I don't. Hey, please come and see my show at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe.
Tell us about your show.
All of August. My show. Yeah, that was a very garbled answer from me about SNL UK. I think it's really good.
What we will do is we'll clip it together so you sound concise.
Yeah. And then it'll just be so. I think you should clip the pigeon stuff, to be honest.
We have to. You brought it up enough time. You can't cut around it. Just in the middle of all your answers, be like, and by the way, I did talk about pigeons in case they tried to take it out.
I'm trying to be this enough about me with Lewis Brown is trying to silence me. Comedy. So the main route into like to being sort of like seen as a comedian is like the Edinburgh Fringe. So I'm doing my like debut show. Well, it is my debut show. I don't know why I did that in quotation marks. It is my debut show. I'm doing that at the Edinburgh Fringe.
But what do you mean by debut show? Like you don't
it's my debut. It's my debut hour-long.
Okay.
This is kind of the only. This is something that only exists in the sort of British comedy industry. Is that like going to Edinburgh to do your debut hour is how you like launch yourself. Like I'm a little debutante. But it's not the case for everyone. Like I've got a friend Jack who's on SNL UK who's never done an hour at the Edinburgh Fringe. Like doesn't need to because he's made his own mark. Yeah. In a unique and interesting way. And like has a showcase for that now. But like people go to Edinburgh and you do your debut hour of stand-up comedy, and then that's how people either like get nominated for the Edinburgh Comedy Award, or it's like the first time that like people who work in TV or film or like other areas of the comedy industry who might not have seen you on the circuit, as it were, will see you do an hour of stand-up to sort of like gauge what you're about.
And how do you develop an hour of comedy?
You just workshop it loads. I mean, like I've been doing it for 4 years now almost. So it's like all of that material rolled into one, some of it culled, and then trying to make it a sort of codified story with a bit of a narrative to it. But I don't want it to be like overly narratively focused. I hope that it is an hour of like wall-to-wall laughs.
So it's completed?
No.
Oh, okay.
The Fringe isn't until August. I want to be working on it until August. And like, it's not like a play where it's like, I don't want it to feel like a play. I don't want it to feel like this thing where like, Mummy and Daddy, here are my lines. And this is my dance routine for you. You know, like it's a piece of live comedy. Therefore it should exist live in the room. And every show should sort of be for that audience. Obviously, I will be telling the hour of jokes in the order that I've like decided by that point. But I want everything to feel. I want each audience to feel like they are getting a show that is made for and with them as well, in a sense. You know, you want to like leave room to like play around with them a little bit rather than being sort of dictatorial.
Yeah. What does that mean, that you shift things around based on what you're receiving from the audience, or you're like, oh, they might not like that, or they will like this, or whatever?
Well, it's like not. It's sort of a balance of the two. It's not like not everything can be just for you, but not everything can just be for the audience. Like if there's an audience who doesn't like if I have like a bit on like men's mental health or whatever, if I've had like a series of jokes on men's mental health and like they're not going for it, I'm not gonna like sacrifice the whole bit because I've like I will have planned this whole show.
Yeah.
But like I will like chat to the audience at points in the show and like get like that's sort of do a bit of crowd work, you know.
Do you like crowd work?
I do like crowd work, yeah.
Yeah, I was at a show actually a while ago now, and like I actually got, this is why I couldn't be a comedian, I got like really nervous by the crowd work. I was like shaking, like audience was shouting out and the comedian was like bouncing back, and I was like, why are these people shouting at? I think it's because I'm used to theatre. I'm like, shh.
Yeah.
Be respectful.
Well, I think we're in a sort of new age now because there are a few comedians who have like really made their name from doing crowd work. Often to not that exciting or interesting a level, really. Some of them are just good looking.
Oh yeah, like that's his whole thing.
Yeah.
Should we just say who he is? He is really good looking.
What, Matt Rife?
Yeah. He is really fit.
He looks like, I guess, in a sort of like Instagram face way.
Oh yeah, it's like it's handsome Squidward.
It's handsome Squidward.
Yeah.
And I think his whole thing, that great for him, that's what he does. I think that like I want, if you're doing crowd work, you want it to feel like really like quick live in the room.
Yeah.
Whereas he's got a captive audience now who like will respond positively to anything that he says or does.
Well, that's a big problem with a lot of these legacy comedians who like are still sticking around and like kind of like holding the lid on allowing new talent to rise up, is that they become lazy because look, whether it's like Ricky Gervais or whether it's like Dave Chappelle, the audience is like, oh, it's Dave Chappelle and I'm ready to laugh. Mm-hmm. And then, so they're not actually producing funny stuff anymore. It's just everyone is like, oh, I'm ready to laugh.
Yeah, it's confirmation bias.
Has got to work at making.
Yeah, and I think that's what doing your first hour at the Fringe is kind of about. Like, you've got to, like, when you start doing open mics, you're not just proving that these jokes are funny. You're sort of proving, when you first start doing like your first like 5 minutes in comedy clubs or whatever, you're kind of proving to the audience, look, I'm not insane for being here. I am someone worth listening to, and these are the jokes that you will laugh at, kind of, you know? You have to sort of like stand 10 toes down, like, because they're like horses, they can smell fear.
Are there a lot of people on the scene who like are like not good comedians?
Yeah, of course, but like,
do people like?
But that's also art is subjective in its taste.
Yeah, I mean, my friend, I've got a friend who does a bit of stand-up comedy, and they were telling me that a lot of people are like, yeah, I was best man at my friend's wedding, and like everyone was in stitches, so you know, I decided to become a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting route.
I mean, that's giving Live at the Apollo, you know.
Sometimes, but like people who are on Live at the Apollo are mostly really good.
I haven't watched Live at the Apollo in like.
I went to a live recording of Live at the Apollo last year, and like, obviously not all of it's going to be for everyone. Like, you see 6 comedians over the course of it. I'd say like 2 of them would be really up my street. Obviously, I know who all of them are already because I've like seen them or gigged with them or whatever. But like, they're all not Live at the Apollo for a reason. Like, they've got enough of appeal to be on Live at the Apollo. Do
you have like a favorite comedian ever? Are you like that kind of person? Do you have like one that you like?
I've got a sort of like a tier of comedians that like I sort of like when I was a child or like a teenager watching, and then I've got people that I've seen. Like when I used to be, excuse me, when I was like a student going up to Edinburgh for a couple of days or whatever, or seeing around that I saw live. And like seeing live comedy is so different. Seeing like a live stand-up comedy show is so different to watching, like if in like 2007 when you're like 12 or whatever, watching Live at the Apollo. Do you know what I'm like watching? I remember watching Gina Yashere on Live at the Apollo when I was like 12 and being like, wow. But like that is still so different to like watching someone perform live comedy and then like seeing that when I was like 19 and like having my tastes shaped by that. Do you know what I mean?
So who are they? Who are those two tiers? Who are we talking
Okay, so when I was younger, the way that I got into like a sort of knowing what comedy was, and like I was like obsessed with like American sitcoms.
Okay, yeah.
So I would love when I was like a child, like 9 years old, I would be like obsessively watching Frasier on like a Friday, on like a Saturday morning.
They used to play it in the morning before school.
Like, instead of cartoons, I'd be watching Frasier.
I do like Frasier.
I was like a teenager. I was like obsessed with 30 Rock. I loved watching 30 Rock. Like the jokes in 30 Rock are they're constant. It's like a rare sitcom where it's like
Is that the one that Tina Fey made?
Tina Fey wrote, yeah. And it's like loosely based on her experiences at Saturday Night Live. It's just jokes. It's not all like, the character's obviously so clearly defined, but like, it's not like a sort of 2010s sitcom, like say maybe Parks and Rec or New Girl, where your enjoyment of it kind of relies on your investment in the characters themselves, or even Friends.
Yeah.
Like where it's like, is that a joke? Or are you just like, that's so Chandler, that's so Phoebe? Like 30 Rock, it is just wall to wall jokes that are both absurdist and do you know what I mean? They're both like observational and absurdist at the same time.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I was like a teenager obsessively watching that. I loved Miss Piggy. Which I know we've spoken about before.
Well, they didn't hear it.
Yeah, that's true.
Dom has actually been here before, but something happened to the recording, and
I'm a black hole. I'm a black hole for technology. Every time I go on someone's podcast, either a camera or a microphone stops working.
But yeah, so I remember the first like comedian that I watched was Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
and I remember I must have been like, I don't know, 12 or 13. I remember being like physically sick from laughter. You know, when you're like drinking too much lemonade.
Yeah. That's how I felt watching Robin Williams as well.
Oh yeah, Robin Williams when I was a child.
Like watching Robin Williams, and because I'd seen him in like Flubber and Mrs. Doubtfire, like he'd be on the TV and I'd be allowed to watch it, and I'd be like, what? Do you know what I mean? That's the first sort of time I sort of like could sort of conceptualize someone as like a solo performer separate from their film work was with Robin Williams, really. So like that was, like Robin Williams when I was a child, and then like 30 Rock as a teenager, and then watching live comedy. I remember when I was like maybe 20, I went to watch, it's maybe like 2016, I went to watch Felicity Ward at the Edinburgh Fringe in a show called What If There Is No Toilet, and it was basically just like an entire show about her having IBS. It was like I was physically hurting, like holding on to myself, like unable to control my laughter. She's an incredible live performer.
I'll check her out.
Yeah.
I get this feeling now, like I'm not like waist deep in like the comedy scene, but I get this feeling now that there's like this attempt to like bring back edgy comedy in a way that I find is not that edgy. Like I was seeing somebody, you're like, what am I talking about? I was seeing somebody who being like, oh, I'm not afraid to be like unwoke. And it's like jokes like picking up babes at Auschwitz. I'm not afraid to make those jokes.
Yeah, but like that's
you know
not
what I mean?
but that's never going to be like sort of successful because A, it's not funny. B, it's a clear and naked attempt to court controversy rather than like this whole thing of like you can't say anything. I think you can say anything as long as as long as the funniness of it warrants the sort of like controversy that it creates in the room, and that's simply not a funny thing to say, so it would never work.
Well, this is the thing is like all of that scene, the reaction scene to kind of like what was maybe a sensitive period of time for comedy or whatever, or the reaction to that hasn't had any legs because it's just trying to be offensive. And I heard a comedian say, I can't remember who it was, I wish I could remember, that like part of the art of being a comedian is working around the kind of sensibilities of the time and seeing what you can push and seeing what people find funny and what people don't find funny. And that is part of the craft of being a comedian.
Yeah, and also like sort of managing your audience's expectations and the limits of what they think it's possible for you to say. For example, like I have some jokes in my show about being in like eating disorder therapy, and sometimes audiences will like balk at that. But that is, I think, a sort of preciousness, because it's like, if I wasn't comfortable, I'm talking about my eating disorder, if I wasn't comfortable about talking about it, I wouldn't be talking about it. You don't need to be worried on my behalf.
So what do you do with that reaction then? As a, like, when you're on stage, what do you do with it?
I make sure no, because if you tell them to if you say you need to get over this, then that pushes their heckles up more. You know, you need to sort of like I'm reticent to use the word safe space, but you want to make it feel as comfortable as possible so that you are able to like lay the groundwork to talk about something that may feel like a dicey subject, even though it's not a dicey subject, because it's one's own experience that you're talking about.
So in a way, you're creating the alliance.
You're creating. There's anytime. This is why the sort of like pre-reaction to SNL UK upset me. But well, it didn't upset me, but you know, it sort of like pissed me off.
Annoyed you, yeah.
Because it's like there's a social contract between performer and audience. It's not just I get up here and it's you don't get to sit there and be like, impress me then. You've come to this show, hopefully, in order to have a good time. There is a social contract between the two of us that I will do my best to entertain you as long as you do your best to be entertained, you know? Like you can't, it's not just like, go on then, tell us a joke. Go on then, tell us a joke. It's like, well, that's not, no. If you're going to be like that, no.
Yeah, I guess you do have to kind of be in the mood, you know?
Yeah.
That's why...
and if you're not in the mood, that's okay.
Trying to do comedy out of context is very, very hard.
You don't have to make it everyone else's problem. Sometimes you see people in an audience and they're like... There it is. All right, it's like, well, it's not for you.
Have you ever had...
maybe because that's because you've got bad opinions. I'm amazing.
Have you ever had... so are there any situations in which your material is just like...
Are you asking for my worst gig ever?
Yeah.
I did a show in Peterborough and like it was giving Phoenix Nights. It was like sort of a golf club. Everyone's on like those big tables that you get at someone's like wedding or a funeral or whatever. Like 12 people around a big table. No one's hair has changed since 1987.
Bit thinner.
Yeah, a bit thinner, but necks of the men in the room, a lot thicker. And I got on stage and I did like a tiny bit of crowd work. I made like some reference to a Jet 2 holiday and it got this huge laugh. Like it honestly was not even a planned joke. Not even a planned joke. This was before it went viral. I was ahead of the curve in that sense. And they were loving it. And then I had like a series of jokes at the time about being in an open relationship. And I said that this is maybe like 3 minutes into my 15-minute set. And I watched an entire room, 150 people. And it was just like that for the next 12 minutes. And I was like, I tried my best to get them back on side, you know, like you do what you can. But like sometimes there is like maybe like it clearly sort of crossed me talking about being in an open relationship crossed into what they considered like against them. It felt like it was against the morality of the room. Now, obviously, I don't think that it's like an immoral thing, but like that had clearly I'd crossed the sort of like social contract of the room. Like I'd done something wrong in terms of the contract that they felt that they had created with me. And so there was not enough like terminal velocity maybe from like enough, if there'd been enough audience members who had been able to get me on side, maybe there was like 10 people in the room who were like on my side. It's not like I was having an argument with them. I was just doing my set as normal. This is like all what's going on in my head at the time. If there'd been like more than 10 people who were kind of like on board, there would be enough to like lead the tide of the room to be on board with me, but there weren't. So therefore it was just 12 minutes of absolute rigid silence.
So no groans, no huffs.
No, it was just a like, what the fuck are you talking about? And like, I wasn't even it's not like I was making like particularly blue or like risque sexual jokes. I was just talking about being in an open relationship as a gay man.
So what do you think?
And literally the jokes were like, chlamydia.
So what do you think it was? Do you think it was like gay jokes, or do you think it was like woke coded that they didn't
I think there was an element of that. Yes, I think there was an element of like, what is this woke nonsense?
Because actually,
sometimes, like, and the act who did best that night came on and talked about how lazy his children were, and sometimes,
so it's that kind of
sometimes
vibes,
an audience just want to hear. Sometimes it just needs to be like, my wife and kids are so stupid and ugly.
Well,
blah,
you do
blah, blah,
forget,
blah, blah.
you do forget that Peter Kay, and he's obviously incredibly talented a guy, is like the highest paid, highest earning comedian in British history. And you're like, he's touring around the fucking country making millions, and I never think about him.
Yeah, I think about garlic bread quite a lot.
Actually, to be fair, I do
Because I think that is funny.
Every single time.
I do think it's funny.
I work for...
He's right. It is weird to put garlic on bread. Like, obviously, I like it, but it is weird.
I work for a homelessness charity, and every single time we bring out garlic bread, somebody goes, garlic bread! So,
And you have to, yeah.
That is a cultural... and I also say, what's the one from Catherine Tate?
Oh, dear me, dear gay, dear no door.
Yeah, that one.
Gooseberry and cinnamon yogurt.
I love Catherine Tate.
I love Catherine Tate as well.
I saw her
That's
at
kind of
theatre.
how I started doing. I could do loads of impressions from the Catherine Tate show, and I was like a very shy child. In answer to your question that you asked me like half an hour ago, about
How did you come into... Yeah.
How did I come to comedy? I have like I'm from like this huge big Irish Catholic family. Like my mum's one of 7, and everyone's got their own partners and children. So I was always like surrounded by like loads of cousins at family gatherings. Because like even like a small family gathering would be like minimum 30 people. So, and I was quite a shy kid, but I could do loads of impressions from the Catherine Tate show. So I would just get wheeled out in front of the adults to like do impressions of Catherine Tate.
They go, come on, Dom, come on, come out,
Literally, I could do I could do a really good impression of Catherine Tate. I could do a really good impression of everyone in my family is Irish, and my dad's from Birmingham. So like I would do an impression of my dad, and they'd be like, and I could do an impression of my granddad, and like that's how I was like, I've done a good job here. The adults are laughing and clapping for me.
That's quite cute.
Yeah, and
that is really cute. Was that the only time you got attention and love, or was there more around?
No, there was more around that. Yeah. So but that was like wait, more people, extra, read all about it. I'm the star of the show at the family party.
Wait, so back at this Peterborough, not to take you back. Yeah. So you think it was like a woke? You think it was like a woke thing? Because
I think there's elements of all of it. I think like I was also a much newer comedian. This is like maybe 2 years ago. So I'm like a year in. Like it's one of the first times that I'm like being sent by a promoter to do shows around the country rather than like open mics in London. Like I'd be able to handle it significantly better now. I don't think it would go well now because like I think there would still be an element with that particular audience of like, who's this jumped up little woke fucker from London coming in to give us newfangled ideas, whatever.
Yeah, because I do think
nothing against. Actually, I was about to say nothing against the people of Peterborough. Everything against those people.
I'm not sure I've ever been to Peterborough. Is anything? What's in Peterborough?
One big fucking massive.
Is there any like cathedral? Is there any town? Or is Peterborough the city?
Peterborough's the city. Yeah.
I mean, like
it's just north of the home counties. So like if you're going up towards like Newcastle, you go through Peterborough. After you've gone through Stevenage.
Middle England types, like they actually don't mind a gay, as long as you're kind of giving it like comedy castrati vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's an element of that, and like I think if you're any kind of minority in comedy, you will get compared by reviewers who you'd think would know better, but they don't. They're a particularly stupid brand of middle-aged man. They will compare you to the sort of nearest person that they can think of who is your specific type of minority. So for gay man, like I will get compared to Alan Carr, Graham Norton, Tom Allen in comedy reviews. I cannot emphasize to you, this is not me being like overly defensive. It's sort of completely different vibe, I would say. And then like if you're a black woman, you get compared to the other black women. If you're a woman generally, you get compared to other women generally who sort of like look even vaguely similar to you. Like northern women getting compared to Sarah Millican all the time, even if they're not Geordies, even if they're not like softly spoken, whatever. It's constant. And the only person who there's 1,000,001 sons of James Acaster moving about the comedy scene at the moment. None of them are getting compared to James Acaster. If you're a straight white man, it's actually well easy.
Yeah. Well, that's the comedy.
There's everything.
Prototype, archetype, or whatever. Have you gone to situations like Peterborough again as you're a bit more like you're a bit better at it, or do you kind of avoid?
Yeah, exactly. I am better at it now as well.
Do you get heckles? How do you deal with that?
This is the thing, like being interviewed about being a stand-up comedian when I'm like fundamentally still incredibly new to it does feel like kind of weird, but also like I plan on it being.
I mean,
my
I
career.
do think that is part of the gig, isn't it?
Yeah,
isn't it?
You're constantly. I think with any kind of like career where you're kind of trying to put yourself in front of people publicly, or an element of it is like self-mythologizing.
And things just happen, out of nowhere. Like we were talking about Zara Larsson before.
Yes.
And like
sometimes,
the revival that bitch is getting is.
Sometimes I feel like I'm in the comedy Kia asylum, and you've just got to keep clawing your way. I'm in the comedy Kia asylum, and I got to keep clawing my way out.
What is the Kia asylum for all of our like?
For your mum listening.
Well, for my mum listening, and for like the kind of 7 kind of Marxists who listen to us from our like Amelia and Owen interviews,
Really? Okay. Hello, 7 Marxists. Love to ya.
If they're still listening.
If you're still listening.
What is the Kia asylum?
The Kia asylum is named after the musician Kia, who.
Oh wait, There's a musician.
There's lore.
There's a musician it's named after.
Yeah. It's not named after Kia the car.
I'm gagged. I thought it was just something
her
that gays
name
just came up with, the Kia asylum.
No. Well, gays, the way that the like etymological lengths that gay people can go to like create a whole entire world that then becomes sort of like accepted as pop culture lore is crazy. So Kia Asylum is named after the musician Kia, who is the singer of My Neck, My Back, My Pussy and My Crack. If you know that one. You know that one. Lewis's mum, do you know that one?
Yeah, I know that one. That's who it's named after. I'm just kind of processing the information.
And so she had this song, My Neck, My Back, which was obviously like very famous and still gets played to this day. But it is sort of one-hit wonder vibes, one-hit wonder. And so there is a term, the Kia Asylum, which is sort of moved into common parlance, into the sort of like pop culture lexicon, where if someone has had some success and then is sort of languishing in the lower echelons of pop, they reside in what people describe as the Kia Asylum. So, for example, pre-Brat Charlie XCX, she is described as having been in the Kia Asylum.
Oh, really, was she?
Zara Larsson was described as being in the Kia Asylum. Who else is in the Kia Asylum? Kia is in the Kia Asylum.
Who was it?
I think she's actually pronounced like Kea.
on a treadmill.
BB Rexha. BB Rexha. See, 7 Marxists who are listening to this, you might not have heard of BB Rexha, and that is for she resides in the Kia Asylum. She's kind of poster girl for it.
Do you remember that song when Cardi B did Girls with BB Rexha,
Rita Ora? Rita Ora is like. She's dominating like the West Wing of the Kia Asylum. She's like the ring girl, grabbing you by the ankles, dragging you back down into the Kia Asylum.
There was a clip of Rita Ora performing at like a
car dealership,
corporate event.
Get your bag, get your fucking bag, get your bag, Rita Ora. I'm a Rita Ora defender. I think like if like. Obviously, like touring and going to if you're like a pop singer, going to the Capitol Summertime Jingle Bell Ball of the Year Awards or whatever isn't going to pay you loads of money. But like getting paid 20 grand to sing next to a car, or like
the car was a Kia.
The car was a Kia. I mean, like that's incredibly on the nose. But like, if you, like for Rita Ora to be like when it was big Rita Ora and she was the face of EE, or when she was the face of Purple Magnums. Like, I think good for her. That's how you get your money.
When she hosted America's Next Top Model for some reason.
Yeah, that's how people get their money from corporates.
The thing about Rita Ora is you think Rita Ora, you think flop, but then you listen to her song. She has so many bangers.
Yeah, When the Sun Sets Baby on the Avenue. It's great. I'm a Rita Ora defender.
I
wouldn't go and see her live, but I'm a defender.
Well, does she play live?
Yeah, have a car dealership.
You can't afford it. That's for the corporates.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, I kind of get that because it's like I'm not in my like day to day. Like, I'm making loads of money from like doing a Thursday night comedy club gig in London. Do you know where I'm making more money? Doing like a charity Christmas, not a charity because that doesn't. Yeah, you don't. But like doing a corporate Christmas gig.
Yeah. Well, fuck it, get it. You need to pay the rent. You need to pay the tax man. So who else is in the Kia Asylum? Well, Zara Larsson escaped, and
Zara Larsson's in the process of escaping. Zara Larsson is currently like Shawshank Redemptioning her way out spoon by spoon.
That
Midnight
was a great
Sun.
verse. My boyfriend hates it, but that was a great verse.
What? Stateside?
Boots got my ego boost.
Why does your boyfriend hate it?
He says he just doesn't get Zara Larsson. He just doesn't vibe with her. Yeah.
Wow. Anti-Scandinavian.
I really like Pink Pantheress.
Yeah.
And I like that song. And I just like the boots got my ego boost.
And that's because you're gay.
A homosexual.
Yeah.
Lots of people in the Kia Asylum. Would you class like Christina Aguilera and people like that, or is it more like 2010s pop stars?
I don't know. Maybe Christina Aguilera. I don't know.
Or is she like a legacy actor?
I think she's kind of a legacy, like maybe too big to be. Like Katy Perry, people are saying she's in the Kia Asylum.
Which is crazy.
She's still she's still very famous. I think maybe that doesn't classify, but like just because she did one bad album. Well, she's done a few.
No, she's done a few.
She's done one good album. But the one good album she did really good.
It was really big, yeah. I actually really like Dark Horse, and I think that's a kind of a controversial one. Yeah.
No, it's got a nice beat to it.
Yeah, I don't,
Iggy Azalea, she's in the Kia Asylum.
Oh yeah, she was on some stream.
She's got some incredible songs. Sorry, I know she's probably problematic. I assume white Australian rapper. She's probably wrote it.
I mean, well, no, it's because she's 16 in the middle of Miami, man.
Who of us hasn't been?
16 in the middle of Miami.
Yeah, I mean, I was 16 in the middle of like Westfield Shopping Centre. Yeah. No money, no family.
16 in the middle of Miami.
I've been up all night. Yeah, it's good. I love that. I love that song. Walk a mile in these Louboutins.
I think that just shows our age.
Yeah,
I think we were in GOL8. You know.
Yeah, or like what party? How old are you?
You don't ask a lady her age.
Okay, but I'm asking a fag.
I'm a homosexual who is old enough to not want to tell you his age.
Okay. So it begins with a 3.
30-something, yeah.
Something. Yeah. Yeah, but it's like being...
How old are you?
30.
Oh, on the dot.
On the dot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're pretty much the same age. Like, came of age to Rihanna Loud.
I genuinely think... I remember a 26-year-old said to me, I'm really into older guys. And I was like...
You're 26.
Who's the older guy?
Yeah. Oh, let me find one for you. Let's go and research, honey.
Yeah, no. So that age, I was let's just say in the mid-2010s, I was in the club.
Yeah. And like some of the mid-2010s songs, there's such a specific like overproduced sound to them now. Like think about like Justin Bieber, Sorry. But like, it still slaps, I think.
I like that era of Justin Bieber. Diplo.
Me too.
All of that. Skrillex. Was it Skrillex?
Post-Kygo world, tropical house. Do you know, I don't think I'm being I think I'm being a pop historian here. Like Kygo was doing remixes of like Whitney Houston in 2013. That leads directly to like Justin Bieber, Sorry, 2015, 2016. And then it's all like the tropical house,
and like the high mainstream era.
Yeah, exactly.
Higher. I was on a date once and I was like, oh, so what kind of music do you like? And he goes, "Oh well, my favorite song is the Kygo remix of How Will I Know with Whitney Houston." And I was like, "Right."
And then you were in a relationship with that man for 7 years.
But I do love it. But I was like being a snob. I was like, "How could you?"
What would you have said your favourite song was at the time?
Oh God, I don't know. But I think not that. Basically,
Yeah. What would you say your favourite song is now?
What is my favourite song right now? I'm listening to a lot of Bjork at the moment, so that's the kind of guy I am. You know.
And may I say this for all of those listening, all 7 Marxists.
And I'm listening to Rosalia a lot because I'm going to see her next month, so I'm quite.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm quite.
In London?
I'm getting in London. London.
Actually, I've got it in my diary, but I don't know whether I have a ticket.
Oh. That means you'll be getting it come hella high water.
Yeah.
I love all the media gays I know who suddenly when they want like tickets, they want like to be on PR lists. They're like suddenly posting on Instagram how much they love. I really love this artist, and then suddenly they're on the PR list.
Yeah.
That's the aim of this. That's the only reason I'm doing this podcast.
Yeah, so that you can get like, so that you can be like via ID. Thanks ID.
Who are you liking at the minute?
Musically.
Yeah.
God, such a good question. The song I think probably my most listened to song of the year on Spotify is going to end up being Stateside Remix, Zara Larsson and Pink Pantheress.
I have listened to it a lot, but no, I liked Berghain. I like. I'm listening to.
It's fantastic.
I'm listening to Debut by Bjork a lot at the minute. I really fucking love that album. It's probably one of my all-time favorite albums. At the time, I don't know. I go through phases. You know?
I go through phases as well. Like every year, I have like a Spotify playlist. Sorry that I still use Spotify. Is that bad? I don't care. I do care, but I don't. I haven't changed it.
I did. I'm on Apple now. Is that better? Yeah.
I don't know whether that's better.
I switched. I got rid of Spotify, and then I went to YouTube Music, which is legitimately one of the worst music apps. I can't believe how bad it is. Like you'll open up an album and it'll be like only tracks 4, 5, and 6. But then if you go on track 4, you can skip to track 3, but you can't select track. Like it's just dumb shit like that.
Yeah, silly.
Like it's so bad.
My partner's only using SoundCloud at the moment, and I think there's got to be. It's harder to. That's too difficult.
That's like just having fucking files.
Yeah, exactly. You maybe as well be on LimeWire. I never used LimeWire, too young. But every year on Spotify, I'll have like a new releases. So like I have a sort of like time capsule of what I listened to that year, kind of.
Yeah.
But it does mean that like occasionally like my listening is sort of stratified. Is that a word? It's sort of like filed into years. But I also have like different playlists for different vibes. I'm not a big album listener. I would like to be more of an album listener. I listened to the entirety of The Red Shoes by Kate Bush the other day.
Well, this is the thing.
Which is a fabulous
people don't really
album.
make albums anymore. Like music for albums, I should say. Like Rosalia did, and obviously Brat was an album. But like, I listened to a lot of Kate Bush because I love Charlie XX, but I tried to listen to that Wuthering Heights album, and then I went, do you know what? I'm just going to listen to a talented musician.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is a talented songwriter. So yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Actually, what do you think of Harry Styles?
I can't be asked for people saying that he's queer, but get over it. It's so embarrassing being like, Harry Styles is queer baiting me. If you're thick enough to get queer baited by Harry Styles, that's on you.
I'm not really sure that people are using queer bait to mean what I think queer bait means. Like,
I think queer baiting means when like Coots Bank has got big like come and bank with us so that you can get your free Pride wallet, and we'd take like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I just think, I get it, but like, look, no one is complaining about the fact that like Nicholas Galazantine or whatever the fuck he's called is not gay.
Yeah.
Because everyone likes seeing him
Take
be
it
a
up the
bottom
ass
on
yeah,
TV.
Yeah, or the Heated Rivalry Boy.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
straight one. Not the Queen.
I don't know, and yeah, Harry Styles. I'm not really. I didn't vibe with this album.
I've never been a big Harry Styles fan. I will say a lot of the time I wear like big trousers, big tie on stage, and Harry Styles be doing that now. And I've had multiple messages be like, he's giving Dom McGovern.
You've got similar type. Maybe you're on his Pinterest.
Yeah, well, I think that's good because like if he was wearing he used to wear such ugly. People being like, he's queer baiting me. He's not. He's just wearing ugly clothes, and you associate that with being queer, and that says more about you than it does about Harry Styles.
We used to be. Actually, do you know what I was going to say? We used to be chicer, but actually, when you see like gays on like 90s reality shows, we didn't actually used to be chicer.
There is a generation of gay men, and like with love and power to my ancestors, who are like in their 40s now, who still have the 2000s like swept forward, tiny little spiked gel bit at the front, and all of them work in theatre. All of them work in theatre production, and it all looks bad. Like it's like being gay does not necessarily mean being chic.
What does it mean? It means that you.
I don't know. It means that you complain online about Harry Styles and you know what the Kia Asylum means. Evidently.
Okay, Dom. What have you had enough of?
I've had enough of sirens. Sorry, I think I'm so done with like
the mythical creatures.
No, I've not had enough of the mythical creatures, the sirens. All the time at the moment, I think there's been an increase in police sirens. Every time I hear a siren in London, which is maybe every 2 to 3 minutes, it's always a police car. They can't all need to be doing that. And it's lots of them unmarked police cars. You can't be doing that much. And like, we know they're not doing that much. That like, we should stop police from being able to use the sirens until they can prove they're doing it responsibly. Give it back to the fire engines.
Maybe they're just late.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it.
Is there a different quality to each siren?
No, you just hear the siren forever and ever and ever. Then they go across the red light. Mysteriously, the siren's off again, but it's always a police car.
So you've had enough of sirens in London?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm overstimulated or whatever, but just I think that there's too many.
So and I don't things that happen when I'm already overstimulated.
Yeah.
An emergency. But someone's been stabbed.
But also I just don't think it can be like why is there like a van of like I'm not hearing about enough drugs busts. And when my bike got stolen, they never found it.
I mean, don't get me started on fucking. I had to go and get my own bike back.
From where?
Well, I found it on Facebook Marketplace and I went up to the guy and I got it back.
I'm worried that my bike had been stolen today because I tried to cycle here and then both my tyres were flat. And so I just parked it somewhere and then got a lime. So if you've stolen my bike...
no. And do you know what I did? I put a reach out to all the straight men I know and I said, I'm going to collect my bike from the thief. And one straight man, he came and helped me. He was my hero. And we got my bike back.
Name him. Thank him.
He's called Hugh.
Thanks, Hugh.
Yeah, and he's Irish.
Thanks, Hugh.
And I went, it's my bike. I'm taking it back.
That's nice.
It was fun. I got it back, and but yeah, they stripped all the stickers off of it, which I didn't like anyway. So they did me a favor. And
thanks, thieves.
Okay, so what can't you get enough of?
I can't get enough of blossom on the trees. Oh. It's springtime, baby.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Do you get hay fever?
I do get hay fever. One thing I've had enough of, I'm so much better at things I've had enough of, unfortunately, than I am things that I like. What can't you get enough of? Music, love, laughter, and vibes. But what I've had enough of is people who get like kind of minor hay fever, being like, you just need to have local honey. There's all of these remedies. Shut the fuck up. Call me. My hay fever starts on the 28th of February every single year. And it feels like someone has got a toothpick and put it from the inside of my eyeball through to my sinuses. And like, I have to walk down the street exactly like this to stop the toothpick from like poking me in the, that's what the inside of my sinus feels like. Someone is like scraping the inside of my brain with a toothpick. And you're there being like, all you need to do is like, yeah, my mum says get local Manuka honey. I'd rather fucking shoot myself than pay £7 for something that doesn't work. And I'm so tired of people saying like, put Vaseline round put Vaseline around your nostrils because it catches the pollen, and then the pollen's stuck around the outside of your nostrils. Guess what's already catching the pollen? My nostrils. And so I have to blow my nose, and if there's Vaseline on there with pollen covering it, then I'm pushing the Vaseline pollen further up my nose. So guess what's more up my nose? More pollen. If you don't know what it's like, stop giving me hay fever advice, you stupid idiot.
But he can't get enough of the blossom.
I can't get enough of the blossom on the trees. From a visual perspective, I think it looks gorgeous. And I love the springtime. I love the springtime. I love when the clocks go forward and you're like, life can be beautiful.
Before we wrap up, can you tell us about your show that you're taking to Edinburgh?
Oh, yeah. If you want to hear more of that sort of like craven, screaming scrawlings of a gay man on the edge, I'm not talking about pollen in my show at all. My show is at the Edinburgh Fringe at the Pleasance Courtyard in Bunker 1 every night in August from the 5th to the 30th of August at 8:30 p.m. Yeah. So please come if you're in Edinburgh or if you know anyone in Edinburgh. I think it's going to be a laugh.
Does it have a name?
Yeah, it's called Prize Hog, but my name is Dom McGovern.
Thanks, Dom.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Cut.